Welcome to our podcast. We are the Cosmic Adults, and we are back. We're back with another episode of Cosmic Goodness. We are Ian and Mercedes. And welcome back. We're going to be forecasting energy and astrology for the week ahead, which is what? May 1st to the 7th. Wow. Oh, I love it when that happens. When it's the 1 on the Sunday and the 7, it's like the perfect week.
So guys, get ready for a perfect week.
Sounds like a lot. Sounds like a lot to deliver. Holy shit.
Seems like a lot to live up to a perfect week. But
it reminds me of do you ever watch Miss Congeniality?
well, this is a movie I don't prefer to watch, definitely. And it's
But you know the scene where the girl's like, what's the perfect date? It's like, oh, maybe a day in late April. Because you only have to wear a light jacket. Like she totally misreads the whole question. Anyways, living up to the perfect week. Why not give it a shot? Imagine what the perfect week could bring.
And I also wanted to add, there is perfection in imperfection as well, guys. So if you can watch, and maybe it's hard to deliver a perfect week every week, and you can with your I don't want to say design, but when you're looking for very detailed things and you see that things aren't maybe as perfect as they could be or they might be, look a little further, look a little deeper. In the imperfection, there's so many perfections actually.
When you said that, it just hit me. I was pushed back in my chair. Oh my god.
Yeah, that guy is deep.
Yeah.
That guy is deep. Okay.
Because fucking it's gonna sound like stoner talk though.
A little bit.
It's gonna sound a bit like we were, hitting the doobies, but no doobies involved. It's just life. Energy.
It's like the spiritual clichés at some point. For me, it's a lot. I'll share my perspective on spiritual clichés, and I want to maybe open something up. Maybe
please, yes. Maybe. Open a door here. Let's do it. Go, yeah.
Because when
clichés.
When you first hear something like that, there's perfection and imperfection, but you haven't yet experienced it or lived it yourself, then it will feel like, no,
what?
Yeah. And especially if you read it all over again, and another spiritual person or whatever person again writes about it or talks about it, it doesn't make sense, and it kind of is annoying even. But if this is where I'm so adamant in about presence of mind, thought, and feelings, and your whole energy, in those present moments you can actually notice those imperfections or perfections within perfections or imperfections. I'm already confused. Anyway.
It's Inception, actually. Inception perfection.
You can start to notice things is the main point here, and you can start to notice, whenever things aren't exactly like the way you imagine them to be, but you can, if you're present enough, you can notice the other things that are quite perfect, and the other things that you can remember, you know, the laugh of another person, or the things that they said, or if you're a child, you know, the child does something, you can start to notice these things, and you can start to see how perfect these moments, these perceivingly imperfect moments actually are.
Actually, if I can contribute on that one. So in the reading that I've been doing lately that I've come across, so the explanation, and I feel that this is true, and also I would love more experience with it. Our soul is a record keeper. It's the governor and it's the record keeper of all of our experiences, of our expression in life. When we are missing pieces of our soul, oh, wait. Okay. This is it's a lot of information. I want to get it right. So when we the purpose of the soul is to slow a thought down in time. Because otherwise everything's just constantly streaming through, and we are never able to actually focus on one thing in order to see it deeper, in order to express deeper. So when we give away or lose or whatever pieces of our soul throughout life, especially, you look at a child and how bright they are, and then you look at an 80-year-old man, let's say, and he's maybe not necessarily as bright, probably can sometimes be depressed, whatever, doesn't matter. It's because the soul is gone. Therefore, you can only think and express your consciousness with as much soul as you have. Does that make sense? So if you have less soul, you have less ability to think.
Mm-hmm. But that raises another question. If we get older, do we lose soul, or is this a matter of just how we...
I think it's a matter of how you've lived. Because I'm, 29, and I'm constantly calling my soul back, and I don't do things that cost me pieces of my soul. Like drinking alcohol or whatever. But let's say, for the 80-year-old man that did nothing but drink beer on the weekends and blah, 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 that's not a life that will keep your soul complete, or, these types of activities. Anyways,
Actually,
the point being,
yeah,
raising your consciousness is having as much of your soul as possible. Partially. What?
I love the partially there.
I say partially because I'm sure there's an infinite number of things as well. And to claim that I know everything would be absurd.
I wanna touch on something that you mentioned there, because I think you said something that I think is really important. Like you said, like drinking alcohol and the pieces of the soul. And I think I've seen this and I've observed this lately even a lot more. And it's hard for me to convey this without it being a judgment, but it's not a judgment. So I want to add a disclaimer to this. It's just an observation that I've had, and I've observed
Don't
a
get
lot.
triggered. Disclaimer.
Yeah, basically. You can observe this within yourself as well. If you're a person who drinks alcohol, you can start to see, and I think it's a little bit easier to observe it in others, because it's like out there and it's like a little bit easier. So just an exercise to give you guys is to observe a person who is consuming alcohol. Just start looking at where they're at, where their consciousness, where their eyes, where their body language, where they're at when they start. And let's say where the night starts to end, look at them then, and look at where the presence is, where the body, where the soul, where the energy is then. And it's really, I would say, really simply or easily start to see how this is actually true. That the almost like the for me it's like the person gets taken from their body. It's like almost like a shallow
Sense.
shell gets left there, and
And then what begs the question of what else?
yeah.
What's in there then?
So,
Yeah.
if you're contemplating, should I stop? I would personally urge you to at least give it a go for a longer period of time and to see where
Yeah.
you're at with it, because it will give so much. That period in it of itself will give you so much reflection and observation about yourself, about life, about what is pleasure, what is fun, what am I, that that you will most likely don't want to go back to it.
Yeah. For me, it
And
was easy.
I
It
just want
was
to
just
say
like boom, one. I was like, I'm done. Yeah,
it's
go
not
for it.
Christian radio that we aren't not you know it's not abstinence radio here.
This
And
is
we're
not the Mormon channel. You are not. You've not come here by mistake.
Yeah, and please go ahead, share that experience, because I think that's important for people as well to understand.
Just when I was ready, it was easy. That's all. It was one of the easiest decisions I ever made. Boom, done. Just like that. Gave away all the wine I had, which I live in a place where there's fucking great wine. Gave it all away. It's like, I'm done. I'm not going to just drink this for the sake of drinking it. What? Like, no. So, yeah. And then there was another, okay, so in the original conversation, I would like to segue back to that because there was another point I wanted to make about it, which I don't remember what the original point was, but now we're here. Pieces of the soul, raising consciousness, all that. Integration, I think, is something that is a little bit lacking. Oh, we were talking about spiritual cliches. So integration, I think, is a lot that's missed. And in the book I'm reading right now, obviously, he talks about that, where it's like a lot of people get it, but they don't walk and add that piece into their life and walk as that and integrate it as who they are.
Can you
Like
give
when
you
you
an
learn
example?
something.
Like
Can I give an example or
Mhm.
you want to give an example?
You give an example,
You want me to give
please.
an example? Okay. So, So seeing the perfection in everything was your example. So you learn that, oh, there's perfection and imperfection. Most people just drop that at that and just carry on living their life as they were before. But there are people that will be like, perfection and imperfection. Put that in their brain, ponder it, and then start to see it in their life. And wow, okay. And now that's a part of who I am. I see perfection in imperfection.
So it's like reading a book. Let's say let's take the Ramtha book. I think it's a great example. And taking that book, reading it, having a realization, but not really again taking it back to your earthly. Yeah, like chucking it away, not taking it.
Oh,
Not
yeah,
taking
I
the
read all those
experience
books. Yeah,
into
take
your
it to the
earthly life.
streets.
Take it to the streets. I think this is
As
one of the
my
most important things anyway.
friend
Taking to the streets.
Ian says, take it to the streets. It's funny because as you're doing that, it's like your arms are gone. Oh my God. But yeah, take it to the streets. Integrate it into your actual life, not just like wow, I read this spiritual book, The Four Agreements, and, just discard it afterwards. It's like what you read and what you felt while you were reading it was real. But sometimes we let our emotional addictions and other things run the show a little bit more. Again, not Christian radio here. Just make your life better radio.
I think we need to start disclaiming this. We start talking about abstinence and things like that. Yeah, it's not Christian radio here.
Yeah. Oh, and my grandpa's thing is, well, Jesus had wine at the Last Supper.
Great.
Great for
him.
That's your justification for getting shit-faced every night of the week? Jesus did it one night. Okay.
This is, I think this is the really big one, actually, that people use a lot. Like, Jesus did it. Jesus had wine.
Jesus did it.
Jesus turned water into wine. Now it's okay for me to get shit-faced and pissed. Constantly. Like, if you stop with that absurdity in your mind and in your brain, you should probably just, take a moment and think about that.
Well, isn't there, a whole list of, logical fallacies that people actually use? It's, the certain, paradoxes or whatever. I don't know.
Do you have one right off the bat?
I don't have one. I would have to Google it. I read it one time. I was like, didn't integrate that. I chucked it away. Not gonna need this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what about the week?
Spiritual cliches. That's where that led us. Call your soul back, bitches.
Biatches.
Yeah, let's go. Day 1, May 1.
May 1.
We're coming up on Star Wars Day, by the way. You know that, right? May the 4th be with you. It's okay.
This is funny.
I don't need to give you don't need CPR or anything, do you?
This is funny, but it's there's a day for everything. It's God, Earth Day, Tree
National
Day,
Donut Day. Yeah.
Please stop, guys.
Star Wars Day, but it's only because of that. May the 4th be with you. Come on. Then there's also the Justin Timberlake. It's gonna be May.
It's gonna be May. I know that one. I'm old enough to know
Such a millennial.
Such a millennial song reference. That one.
It's so embarrassing. At this point, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing how irrelevant, but whatever. I digress. Let's move.
Do young people even know Justin Timberlake anymore? Probably not.
I think so.
They do?
Ish. I don't know. Should ask them.
I mean, yes. Guys, if you're below 20, probably below 20, start of 20s.
Born in the 2000s or later.
If you are born in the 2000 or later, please let us know if you know about Justin Timberlake in the comments below. We would love to hear from you. If you happen to listen to this old people podcast. God, I couldn't help myself. I couldn't. We're not
really
that
embarrassing.
Old. We're not that.
It's
old.
embarrassing. No, we're not. We're not.
But it feels.
And
like
it's strange how irrelevant we've become in modern day. Because I'm like, I used to know everything about technology, and then it was one day, it was just I don't know anything. This TikTok thing, I would have had this nailed down to a science years ago. Partially, I think it's growing up and just not caring about it. Yeah. don't care. Yeah. So there's that.
Uh, Like, listen, like, even like I'm 30, I'm going to be 34 soon, and you're going to be 30. And imagine,
Yeah.
we're 30s. It used to be 30, used to be kind of like younguns, Imagine, and we are kind of like feeling, left out or left, I don't know, to our own vices. And imagine what, 40, 50, 60 year olds must feel like. They're just
Oh.
talking about, Led Zeppelin, and I don't know what they're, doing. God,
Led Zeppelin. Okay,
I
but
love
I
Led
listen to
Zeppelin.
Led
I
Zeppelin,
love
but
Led Zeppelin.
I have one of the records actually. A friend gave it to me. It's freaking amazing.
Yeah, it's
Anyways,
amazing.
but yeah, like there's a lot. But you know what? I saw a kid wearing 80s shades today.
Hmm.
And my thought was like, oh, his mom probably made the comment of like, oh yeah, we used to wear those, you know? And then I was like, I wish his mom wouldn't say that. And I wish his mom would just let him have it.
Mm.
It's like let the kid have the cool freaking shades and the whole experience. And like it's a new thing. Why
Mm.
not? Don't make him feel like he's an asshole for like wearing the current style just because you wore it out. And mullets are coming back big time.
Mullet.
My little brother wants a mullet.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Things are
I was like,
changing.
I'll help you get a mullet if you want, but just know it's trouble, bro.
It's like
Why are you all blurry?
blurry. Is racism making a
Blurry.
comeback then as well? If like these.
Oh my God. Here at the Cosmic Adults, we make off-color jokes.
I mean,
When are you gonna follow that up?
I don't know.
You can edit that out if you want.
Um, Listen, I don't. It's strange times for me, personally. Definitely, I'm observing it. I'm observing the societal places where we're moving into as humans, as young people, as old people, as middle people, whatever. Definitely some sort of concerns for me specifically, but and this is maybe the reason for my sarcastic jokes right now. I hope not. I hope racism isn't making a comeback. I hope it goes in the opposite direction. Unfortunately, what I see right now is racism towards white people. This is the you know you know I was thinking about this. One of the things I was thinking about the other day was like I could have chosen any time, almost any time, to be born as a white man onto this planet, and I chose this time where being white man isn't cool anymore, and it's like the opposite. It's like the worst thing, and
Yeah.
it's just made me laugh. It made me laugh, but it's also sad as well that a person who because a lot of especially a lot of young white people don't even have any
Mm.
legs or fingers in racism, and they're put there into that same pot that these maybe older white people who were directly racist. um, so it's a little
I
bit.
mean, I was in a multicultural relationship in the
Hmm.
past,
Hmm.
and I certainly experienced through that relationship what it really looks like, and it's incredibly uncomfortable.
Hmm.
We walked into a bar, um, like we weren't drinking, but the bar was where the food was. And we walked in, and immediately the energy changed because everyone kind of looks, right? You know, it was a very small town.
Mm.
Everyone knows everyone kind of situation. And we walk in, okay, we're outsiders. And ooh, ding, 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 different color skin. Here we go.
Mm.
So we sit down and oh my God, like, and just being an energetic person, I'm like, I can feel hostility, like real hostility. And I'm just like, I'm looking at my friends that we were with who are part of the small town, and I'm like, are we safe here? Like, is this
Mm.
okay? And I was actually concerned for my safety, especially with, you know, alcohol being a factor in
Mm.
that particular pub. Um, of just some random guy coming up and everything okay? Some random guy coming up and just clocking him, you
Mm.
know?
And this was like 2021, 2020, you know, late, not very
Would have
late.
been about 3, 4 years ago. Yeah, not that far away.
So this is still
And
happening.
like weird stuff too, like selling things on marketplace. Like he would message people about the item and get no response. And then I would message about the same item and they'd be like, oh, hi. Da, 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 da."
Jesus Christ.
Oh, yeah. Like it was real. So, I mean, it's happening. It's
Still
not
happening.
happening. Yeah. You know, and I do think like there is somewhat of a responsibility to honor every single person in who they are. I mean,
Obviously.
I don't care. I don't care what a person looks like. They could be green for all I care. In fact, if you're green, I'd love to meet you. Blue, blue people.
It's
I
a
don't
weird
really
one.
care. I care what someone's energy feels like. That's what I care about. If your energy is like, you know, harsh and hard, then it's a little harder to get along.
It's a very strange thing of, you know, your skin is white. I know a lot of asshole white people, actually, who I don't have any interest in being in relationship
Boy.
or dealing with business or whatever. Um, you know,
I think it's another thing that's been used to polarize people, to make us think we're not all one brotherhood. Oh, there's a
baby
baby.
woke up.
Yay. So cute.
I don't know how we got mixed in this race thing.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about things that were making a comeback.
And I made that freaking joke.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So May 1st, Astro.
I mean, I just want to kind of maybe wrap it up. Um, because, you know, hearing that story, you know, you just shared about the bar and about, you know, messaging things.
Mhm.
I don't know if this the following thing that I'm about to say will hear or will reach any ears or hearts or minds or souls, but I hope it does. I mean, guys, this is the I mean the wrongest thing ever, you know, just based on the color of your skin. But if we're talking about, you know, a person who has integrity, who does what they say, who doesn't mistreat people, I mean, doesn't care, or I don't care personally what their skin color is like, and you shouldn't be excluding them from some societal things and freaking marketplace offers. God damn it. This is a freaking another level I didn't even know existed. So don't do that, please, if you're hearing this, and judge people by their character and judge people by their actions, and, you know, if you're in tune, energy. That's what I have to say about this.
I think that's well said. I'm a bit moved, actually.
I
I'm
have
slightly moved. Yeah.
I have friends of actually friends and acquaintances of all ethnicities and skin colors. They just don't. I haven't heard these stories still that they that these things. I thought like things are better, you know, because I don't know, crazy, sad.
I think if it's like kind of a situational thing, if you see it, you see it. You're meant to see it.
Hmm.
Learn from it. Be better. Do better. Anywho,
Me
pretty heavy,
first.
hey?
Very heavy.
That's
Very
heavy.
heavy.
It's very heavy. Should we like lighten it up?
Yeah, sure. What what do
Yeah.
you have in mind?
What do you have in mind? Good. Well, I'm glad that you asked. I think we should talk about the week because it actually seems like a pretty good week. Um, do you want to talk about the astrology first? I think
Mm,
that is a good. Do you want to talk about the astrology at all? Do you want to talk about the overarching themes of the astrology? And then we can just like kind of talk each day through.
yeah, I mean, now, guys, we're still a little bit beginning of the week. We're still in the, if you listen to our last episode, we're still in the eclipse energies, but usually how eclipses work
Solar
is
eclipse, right?
solar eclipse in Taurus.
Okay.
So usually how these new moons and moon cycle works is that the events come in and then a new cycle starts. So usually it means a little bit of a lifting of, during eclipses, during moon cycles, before the energy comes in, it can get a little bit heavy. And I don't think this particular event is any different. And now, the energy comes in. We're still kind of in the Jupiter Venus conjunction. Luckily, that will help us through it, hopefully. And we're building up to the Mercury retrograde. So Mercury will be in its shadow period right now, which means that, well, basically it means a lot of activities associated with Mercury, like communication, speaking, writing. They can be a little bit hectic, arranging meetings, even technology, things to do with the internet, social media. We there's a lot to do, definitely during the shadow period, and we will start to understand and it will be revealed almost to us some mistakes that we need to fix, some things we need to go deeper with, some things that were said, some things that were kind of like even planned, let's say, as well, planned before or kind of like forgotten about, now start coming back, and we need to deal with them and start putting in efforts and to work with them. But if there are things of miscommunication, let's say, I think this is, in our daily lives, this is one of the biggest things with Mercury retrograde and in the shadow period. Be sure to kind of emphasize what you mean, and if there's confusion about what the other party means, ask for clarity and be direct as possible, as much as you can, because there's so many messages, so much information exchanged that it can get a lot, and then the other person is getting information, you're getting information, it's messaging here, messaging there. Need
Yep.
to, yeah, be
I
grounded
have
in
a
it all.
question.
Hmm.
I have a question. Is it better that like if you know that there's a conversation that you need to have or whatever, is it better to have it like prior to the retrograde or in the retrograde? I mean, I guess it's going to manifest at the right time if that's your belief. And is there an optimal time?
It's an interesting thing. Usually, when you talk or have that conversation during the retrograde, you have to do it about 3 times to get the full extent of it. So what I mean by that is, let's say during the retrograde, you start something and you start a conversation with somebody about a deeper matter. usually some details haven't been yet revealed for you guys to get to the deeper, the gist, the juice of it. And you go one time, you go two times, and the third time after the retrograde, the after shadow period comes. This is the time where it all gets revealed, the communication gets lighter, the details are more, let's say maybe there was some soul searching needed to be done, or some research to be done. Now, after the shadow period is the time where things get revealed. But it's hard to say optimal time, because some of the times we need to have those conversations anyway, and pre-shadow, I would say, is a good time to initiate these things, because that will leave us the actual retrograde period to process these things. Because retrograde usually means pre-retrograde things speed up, during retrograde things can actually slow down, so you have time to go deeper within, into your mind, Mercury, the mind, the thoughts. So we go and revisit these thoughts, revisit these ideas, revisit these communications, so we get the real gist of these things. And after shadow, then we come out with these ideas and what we actually deeply wanted to say. So this is, I think, one of the ways to dissect it.
So if you get this reference, I'm going to be so happy. Should you write an anonymous letter?
God. Oh my God. It's like
It's an embarrassing reference, actually, and I'm
A?
glad.
No.
No, it's the Jersey Shore.
I can't. I haven't watched it. I have like bits and
It was
pieces.
a TV show.
I know.
It was a terrible, terrible TV show. And these people who they just would go to the Jersey Shore and party, right? Essentially. And the one girl and was with her boyfriend, Sammy and Ron was cheating on Sammy, and everyone knew it. Sammy stayed home this one night and he was making out with girls at the club, whatever. And so the other girls in the house wrote an anonymous letter to Sammy telling her that Ron was cheating on her. So then it's really become an internet sensation. Write an anonymous letter. Anyways, I think
it's a time for that to happen. Yeah.
because as you were talking about all of that, I was almost thinking like in the pre-shadow, like type out a letter, like type out everything that you want to say. In the retrograde, have a look at it, revisit it, see what's going on, see how you feel, and see if you really need to send it. And then in the post, either, have that conversation or don't. Maybe you get it all out just in talking to yourself.
I think it's a really good
Who
way of
knows?
using that energy.
Cool.
Do that.
I think on a personal note with Mercury retrograde, like I groan and moan about it. And also I think I have some of my biggest growth periods have been during the Mercury retrograde. So long as you just like sort of take that step back and you don't get so triggered by like something that's not clicking properly, you're gonna be fine. Just lean in.
You must allow time, which is patience and time during a Mercury retrograde, which is extremely difficult for our modern society, because everyone wants to things quicker.
Yeah.
And very often during Mercury retrograde, it's very hard to get things quicker, because there are documents and things are not moving, and those are just one example, but things can be delayed.
Patience. You can get it from Amazon.
What do you mean? What you can get?
You get patience. You can order it from Amazon.
Of course.
Remember?
You can prime it. You can prime it. You can prime patience so you get quicker, like 3 days.
Get it fast.
Oh yeah.
I think we're gonna get a lot of mileage with that joke, actually.
It's like, yeah.
Um, Anything else in particular? So we got the Mercury retrograde. We're in
Well,
the eclipse energy, solar eclipse,
Venus is
Taurus.
entering now Aries, so we get a little bit of fire energy. So what we enjoy in our relationships change a lot. So there, with Venus in Aries, there is a little bit of selfishness there in the relationships, like me, a little bit more. You know, our own needs are maybe more on the surface there, and maybe we tend to, let's say, we tend to go for our own needs first, so and other people's needs a little bit later. Um, but well, let's say on a positive note, or more positive note, is more, let's say, sexual energy, more physical things bring more enjoyment. So it's a little bit more easy. It's easier to move yourself physically because it brings more enjoyment. Venus is what brings
Nice. Like
us,
working out
yeah,
and stuff.
like working out and stuff, and doing that type of fitness stuff, definitely.
Hit them PRs, guys. When did that
And
start? When does this start?
I think it's on the second or third. Let me just check.
Cool.
So
Looking forward
secondish,
to that.
secondish.
Second-ish. Yeah, because we're in different time zones.
Mm-hmm.
Was there, I feel like I might have cut you off there. Was there anything else that you wanted to say about that, about Venus and Aries?
I mean, physicalness, entrepreneurship, anything that requires action, we enjoy. So it's a weird combination actually of energies right now in these days because we still have three freaking planets in Pisces. So and one of them is the ruler of Aries, which is Mars. So it's kind of like we enjoy action with the Venus there, but it's like still Sun in Taurus, Earth energy. It's kind of like a the action isn't so quick, I would say. The action is a little bit slower. It's like behind the scenes action that we enjoy to take and initiate. And you know, the physical body, we enjoy to look at the physical body. So, you know, even if you're a male or a female, you're still, you know, the physical bodies will bring you more enjoyment and pleasure. You can say that. Just be, you know, we like the chase. I think definitely in the relationship as well. Um, but I would say a little bit about the selfishness. It's like me.
Um, I feel attacked. No, I'm just kidding. Well, actually, as you were talking about that, because obviously, like I have Venus and Aries and like natally, and so my very first like love, like my the first love, um, very whirlwind type thing. He cheated on me. It was a whole thing, and this was like, oh, it was so heartbreaking because I loved him so much and I wanted to forgive him and blah, blah. And my one friend looked at me. I'll thank you, Ashton, by the way, if you ever are listening to this. He looked at me and he was like, no, no, you no. And I was like, oh, you're right. Thank you. And so I totally changed my tune and I was like, yeah, no, you're out. You're done. So we reconnected a couple times as friends. Like we in the same friend group, so we come across each other every once in a while, and we ended up reconnecting like during the last Venus retrograde.
There it is.
And I got his astrology info, and I looked, and he also has Venus in Aries, and I was like, No fucking wonder that this was the way that it was. Makes perfect sense. And selfishness of like me, because I always wanted to be like me, and he always wanted to be like me. But I think also our moons, the moon flow, my moon was flowing to his moon. So then he always got the me. And I didn't receive that. Anyways, tidbit. Did you feel like doing any rapid fires for either of these things?
I think
Venus
we
in Aries or Mercury retrograde?
I think we should do Mercury retrograde. Venus in Aries, like it's a transit, but it's like not so big. I would say mostly.
Okay. Let's do
Um,
it. Mercury retrograde, rapid fire for all the signs. Ian Altazar, the freedom astrologer. Go.
so let's do Mercury retrograde rapid fire. Let me just check it one more thing because we have we have Mercury retrograde in two signs this time, so it's a little bit more to
Ooh.
do, you know.
Oh, there's more to it.
So we have this time the Mercury retrograde
Mhm.
is in the sign of Gemini at first, and
Ooh.
then it ends in the sign of Taurus. So it's a little bit of
But
a, yeah.
isn't that a good thing? Is that a good thing? Mercury retrograde for all the for fucking say a word.
I mean, depends on how you look at it.
Because it's the ruler, right? Or will that be more intense? Anyways. Oh.
You mean
Are
in
these
Gemini?
yes.
I would say in Gemini, it's there's a lot more information going to come your way. And generally, Mercury does do better in Gemini, so it's stronger, so we can utilize it better. I think, but maybe the downside of it is there's going to be so much information, so much things to do, so much busyness is going to be there. A
Okay.
little bit, hopefully, that the other energies will dial it down because we still have Taurus kind of there. We still have the Pisces kind of companions there. So that one, those will slow it down, but Gemini, Mercury, pretty busy. A lot of activity in the mind, a lot of thoughts in the mind, a lot of communication, a lot of exchanging of messages. So you need to be prepared for that. So rapid fire. Let's do rapid fire.
Rapid fire. Let's do it.
Do my
Mercury
best to.
retrograde.
So first part of Mercury retrograde for Aries in the third house. So a lot about learning skills, learning new skills, business activities, sales, talking to siblings, teammates, working online. Second part of retrograde for Aries, financial matters, where to invest, what am I doing financially, materially. Taurus, first part, financially, materially, self-worth stuff. Second part, generally, where am I going in life? What is my path in life? Thinking about those things there. For Gemini's first part of life, or sorry, first part of retrograde, thinking about what I just said about Taurus is thinking about where am I going, where am I moving in life, what is my true path. Maybe need to switch your path, change your path. Second part, it's a lot about more subconscious things, working in private, subconscious matters coming to the surface, spiritual matters. And this is going to continue, guys, if we progress with the signs. So everybody gets the last part of the other sign, if that makes sense. So Cancer, for you, the first part will be, subconscious things, subconscious matters, spiritual things, reevaluating behind the scenes work. And the second part of Mercury retrograde, you're going to be dealing with goals, friendships, talking to friends, exchanging communication with friends. Leos, first part of retrograde going to be the friendships, reevaluating goals, putting in efforts into your dreams and goals, reworking some project. And the other part will be about business, bosses, communication, how we put ourselves out into the world, what's our mission. That's you're going to be putting efforts into that and reevaluating things there. Even communication with bosses. Virgos, for you, the first part is going to be about that. Business and bosses and reevaluating things there, and the second part is going to be about getting some sort of certification or what you're learning at. Maybe you need to do an exam even, or the communication relationship with the father has to be reevaluated, or there's efforts there to be put in. Now for Libras, or even foreigners. For Libras, the first part is about that. So doing, certifications, maybe learning something new, higher knowledge, reaching for higher knowledge, talking to foreigners a lot, communicating with them. Belief systems also important there. And the second part is going to be a little bit heavier for Libras because it's 8th house thing. It's going to be about, internal wounds, even because we're talking about Mercury, it's a little bit also about taxes and insurance and resources coming from others. You need to fix those and make those happen there. It's not all about wounds. No, for Scorpios, the first part about for the retrograde is about those things, those deeper things and taxes and etc. Now the second part for Scorpios is a lot about partnerships and relationships and reevaluating those and communicating there. What I've seen a lot with this specific thing is when Mercury is retrograde in 7th house, a lot of conversations with the current spouse or partner need to happen. So maybe you need to move the relationship to the next level. Maybe there's some misunderstanding, but you need to have a lot of conversations on what are we going to do when the retrograde ends, or in general in life. Now for Sagittarius, the first part is going to be about those partnerships and relationships and reevaluating, communicating and having those deeper conversations there. And the second part is going to be about workmates and teammates, work in general and routines, and maybe you need to change your routine or health routine or what you eat or diet even, and see what is working, what is not working. For Capricorns, the first part of the retrograde is going to be about those things of routines, etc. And the second part will be about romantic partners. So maybe you need to talk to a romantic partner, maybe you need to talk to a child or a kid of yours, or you need to work and put efforts into your business, your personal business, your creative projects. For Aquarius, the first part starts with those romantic matters and solving those, and putting in efforts into your personal business and creative projects. The second part is more to do with home life and thinking about even things like communicating with the family and thinking about things like what does make me happy and what do I need for emotional security and happiness, and maybe even reorganizing the home. Maybe there's some furniture you need to take and turn here and there. For the Pisces, the last one, always the first part is about the home. It can be even relocating, moving, but it very often is all just thinking about and communicating with family, and reorganizing things at home. And the second part for Pisces is about the third house things, business. How do I sell myself? Marketing, siblings, communicating with them, communicating with teammates, communicating online, talking, speaking, communicating, writing things. There
Crazy.
it is.
Seems like freaking pretty accurate for me, at least. I'm always like, in everything, I'm always like patiently waiting for Pisces, like always at the end, number 12.
I sometimes do it, we can do next time, we can do start with Pisces and go backwards. I sometimes do it.
That I think would be glorious.
Because otherwise, Spice is always, oh, I'm the last, you know, I'm the last.
Actually, I enjoy being the last because it's like,
The
I
best.
guess I feel a little special. Just a mix of everything, you know? Yeah, very cool. Thank you for the rapid fire. I'm enjoying those rapid fires, by the way. I think they're very cool.
Let's do more of them. Yeah, let's do
More
one.
rapid fires.
Yeah.
Yep. If everyone else is, by the way, whoever is listening, watching, if you're liking the rapid fires, let us know. Talk to us. We want to talk to you. We want to talk to you. You want to be our friend.
sounds so crazy. But yeah.
Yeah, kind
It's
of.
kind of true.
Yeah, otherwise we're just sitting here talking.
Guys.
We're just talking to each other otherwise, which is fine. It's great, actually. It's great. And
Shall we just go with the week?
let's freaking go into it. Sunday the 1st.
Mm-hmm.
Ever giving.
That's a good one.
So the kind of guidance that comes along with that is like, whatever it is that you're thinking, you're right. And you're going to get more of that.
I might have some objections with that, but yeah. If you're an axe murderer, please don't take that as a, you know, guidance. Whatever you're thinking is right. You probably need to doubt your thoughts a little bit
I
there.
don't mean right as in morality. I mean right as in like you're correct. Like, you know, I'm thinking more like I'm not good enough. If you're thinking that, you're right. You know, you're right. And you're going to get all kinds of proof
Thank
that
you
you're not good enough.
for explaining that. Otherwise, I would be like,
Yeah, axe murderers are not really that great. Yeah, no, it's just like a bountiful thing. Whatever it is you're thinking of, you're gonna get tons of it. So let's think about the good shit. Let's think about raising consciousness and like, yeah. That's it.
God. Yeah, let's do that. And if you're an axe murderer listening to this, you know, doubt your thoughts. And,
Disregard.
disregard.
Not for you.
God.
Yeah, and it also makes me think about my elderberry tree in the backyard. You know, the giving tree. There's a book written called The Giving Tree, something like this. Ever giving. And it's just like and I mean, I guess kind of goes back to like what we were talking about in previous episode of if you knew how loved you were, you'd never have a problem again, you know. And it's just like the universe wants to give to you so badly, more than you could ever comprehend. Maybe you can comprehend it one day. I hope so. And yeah, it's constant giving gifts.
I think this is one of the biggest learnings lately, like literally shattering my beliefs. Yeah, I can share a little bit because I've been working with a deeper belief within myself that is like basically very bluntly put is I can't have or I can't get what I want in life. And this has been in the mixture of of this, universe wants to give to you. And at first, when I heard this, I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, nice. Like, secret, bring it on, bring everything. And I was like, okay, so why? And then a year later, I was like, okay, so why is this, why am
Yeah.
I getting this shit constantly? So I started, understanding more deeply about what is happening internally about myself and da da da, and the beliefs I had. And this is why I wanted to even share this, is the beliefs are so huge in, if you internally manage to deeply believe that the universe wants to give all the good things to you and the things that you actually desire, very easy to get to those things. But when you have a belief like I have, that I'm working on right now, is like, I can't get what I want in life, you know, then the results of those, let's say, maybe your prayers, or maybe that understanding, yeah, it's a little bit here and there. You can get the things that you maybe don't want so much.
You can get most of the things. Of That's interesting.
But it's a
Because that sounds like it
it's a
sounds like
practice.
someone else's voice, right? Because the inner voice that's you, that loves you unconditionally, as it states in the Ramtha book, Elixir of Love, um, Elixir called Love, if you're able to find that voice that's just like nonstop loving you, the voice that laughs at you thinking that you can't get everything that you want in life, that voice that's sitting there going, oh, Ian, you silly.
You silly goose.
If that's what you want to express in this life, yes.
And it's really, it is, and I understand, and I can see the other side emerging. The part that believes these deeper things, and you know, for me, it's a process. It's a process of proving to myself that it's actually happening, and I'm in that process right now.
Fuck yeah.
Nice.
May 2nd.
May 2nd.
I know that you said it was Venus, but I the the moon is what I was picking up on. And I think the moon itself, wherever it is in the sky, I think will be significant. And also, um, it was like I was also seeing the moon tarot card as well, which the moon is actually like, I mean, if we're thinking in terms of good and bad, it's kind of a shitty tarot card to pull, actually. It's
Hmm.
like, it's kind of like you're not, I don't know. Every time I've pulled the moon and I've read it, I've been like, ooh, that kind of stinks. Like, I wanted the sun. But it's like a lot to do with like femininity and just everything that the moon really represents.
Those are good things.
Mhm.
Necessary things. Very necessary things. And as I think, as a man, you need those a lot as well. You need both
What
parts.
can I ask, like, as a man, what does it feel like to be influenced by the moon?
Confusing at times. Very confusing. Um,
Like, how so?
it's like the very natural state is something for a man. I think in my case, it's constant, like go 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 go. There's no. It's almost like there's no desire to actually stop. This is how I experience or can explain this. It's like go go go, do, make, create. But when you start to put in your emotions and feelings into it, you understand. Oh, so I need to stop. I need to feel. I need to nurture myself. I need to do this. I need to do that. And I think it has been a very big learning experience to let go of that constant do, go, 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 and to be in that feeling and emotional sense, because it's a much healthier way of doing it. Because especially I've been lately observing people, men especially online, just like, yeah, very macho, masculine, and it's kind of, that energy is needed as well, to create and make things in the world. But if you're constantly in that, it can get very, very tiring, and it's
Well, that's why people burn out.
burnout, total burnout for sure.
Mhm. Yeah. Hmm. This is very compelling information. I don't know why. The word I feel to say is compelling. It feels very compelling to me. It's like perhaps there's a deeper understanding here somewhere to uncover.
Hmm.
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 Again with the hmm.
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 Again with the very pondering. That's okay.
The third, is it the third
And then the
or?
third, moving on to the third, the word that I felt summed up the day, the energy of the day is rejoice. I think oh, your kid is so cute. Um, I feel that people don't really celebrate enough. Like, and not celebrate like go out and get wasted for someone's birthday, but celebrate yourself as far as even small wins and little things. Rejoice though feels a lot bigger than celebrate. It's like your whole being more so. And it's, for some reason it feels a bit like a biblical word too. Like when I think of it, I'm like, rejoice for da 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 da, like the angel has come or something like that. It seems like someone standing on a soapbox would say. Um, but I mean, again, in some of the reading I've been doing, it's like the joy. Joy is like one of the closest emotions to God. It's like pure joy.
I think I know what you mean.
So, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Because in a lot of my, let's say, connections that I've had during this lifetime with those I would call God forces, or universal bigger forces, the overwhelming, what I can describe as a human feeling, has been, you know, complete joy. Just,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, love and
Peace
joy,
and
peace, love,
joy. Yeah,
everything mixed
love.
together.
Yeah. So it's like that's how you know for sure that like all the other things like hatred, envy, resentment, regret, blah 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 is not it.
Very good.
Anyways, celebrate yourself, pat yourself on the back. You're doing a good job. You're here, you're paying attention, you're following your guidance, you're doing all the things. Like fucking A, celebrate yourself. For me, I usually purchase something.
Like a physical material possession.
Yeah. Or like I'll have a meal that I really enjoy.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites as well.
Mhm. And like now Now I'm riding solo, so I I actually really enjoy doing so much stuff by myself. Like I went in my past I never would have done this, but I actually like going to movies alone. Like I went and saw the
Mm,
new Dumbledore Harry Potter movie and I went
mm.
alone and I just loved it. It was good.
Good for
Anyways,
you. Healthy.
so dinner alone, movie alone, whatever. It's like doing the shit is like take care of yourself. And moving into the fourth, which Ian thinks is I can't even say it. It's such a triggering.
Come on, do it.
Ian was feeling that Wednesday will be very moist.
Very extremely moist.
Spongy.
There's
We'll just go
something
really into that. What does that
moist,
mean?
moist there. I don't know. It's the only thing that the word that came
Mhm.
directly was moist. Like it,
Looking forward
moist.
to seeing how that comes through because I don't deny that that's a thing. I just want to avoid saying it a lot.
Moist.
Um, because what I was feeling was partnership.
A moist partnership. Guys, why not? Once in a while, you do the moist partnership. Helps a
Oh my
lot.
God.
helps out, helps out people a lot, I think. Um, but it's like potent as
Um,
well. Potent. There's
mhm.
because moist is potent. There's juice there. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, this is all you.
When I think about when I think about moist partnerships, I, I you know get you. When I think about moist partnerships, truly I think about what both parties give to each other and what kind of energy is generated there, and
Mhm.
moisture is just one way of getting things to grow, for example.
Well,
And
I was thinking actually, go ahead.
yeah,
Sorry.
I mean, it is I would say, look at what you can grow from that potential in that partnership or relationship.
I
I
love
would say
that.
that.
Well, because that moss, like, did you study moss at all in school? Science class?
I think so.
Moss reproduces through the moisture on top of it. So that's how you get lots of moss. Be like moss.
Be more like moss.
Moist moss.
Grow things on top of each other. That's a good thing to do.
Well, because it's like the certain, I don't know how it is now, but it's like certain things or whatever. There's like the male and female parts reproductively, and then it requires like the water droplets to mix the male and female and to create more. Now you know more about moss. Congratulations. I don't think, yeah, we don't need to talk too much more about moss.
Think
But it's a Wednesday, and that's a good day. Wednesday's always a good day. What's the astrologic? What's the planet?
Mercury.
Um, Mercury, right? I always forget because it's Odin or Woden, which is Mercury, as per my astrology mythology book. Fifth Thursday, Cinco de Mayo. Whoop whoop.
What's this
Go get
deal
some
with Cinco de
tacos.
Mayo?
The 5th of May. I have no idea what the holiday is, but it's where you celebrate tacos, tequila, margaritas. I will not be
It's a Mexican holiday.
participating in that. I believe so. Yeah, Cinco de Mayo, that's Spanish.
Is it Spanish or Mexican?
Oh, it's Mexican, but they speak Spanish
Right.
in Mexico.
I am aware of that, yes.
Yeah. Are we getting into the ridiculous?
I think we were recording like almost 5 hours, so it's like
Oh my
or
God.
not, yeah,
Oh
something
yeah,
like
I
almost
get
five
that.
hours.
I
So
get
it's
that.
getting a little bit
We're getting into the ridiculousness. Um, let's move into Cinco de Mayo, burning candles, which in the past we had another one which was light a candle. This is
mhm.
burning candles. And what I was seeing is kind of like big, whoa, big tall candles with like all the wax like
Mm.
dripping down.
Mhm.
Like it's like the candles have already been burning, which is interesting because we were just talking about burnout prior with too much masculine energy can lead to a burnout.
Mhm.
So yeah, just make sure you're not burning the candle at both ends or leaving it burning too long. The candle is you in this metaphor.
Yes. Yes.
Do you have anything to add to that?
No, I actually love that metaphor. I'm
Cool.
pleased.
Friday, whoop whoop, end of the week. Ocean. Fucking love the ocean for one. Um, big surprise there, I bet. It's so cool. So the thing about the ocean that I love is that I really want to see the bottom of it. Like, just want to know. I don't want to go there per se, but I want to know. And so this one time I had this vision where I was like, I think I was meditating. I can't remember. And it was like all of a sudden I was in this piece but it was the ocean and it was just water. And it was like beside me was this like land formation, like some type of earth within the water. And it had like all these different ledges. So it was like I was sinking down in this peaceful water. And then it was like as soon as it got to be a little bit too heavy, it was like, okay, now I can't go any further into whatever emotion or whatever thing this is. So then I would just kind of go on the ledge and then just wait until I was ready. And then I would just like sink down deeper into um, the thing that I was dealing with at the time.
I think we can be
Pretty cool.
we can be very scared of that depth, and I'm personally definitely sometimes scared of it. The weird thing about that bottom or deeper thing is also it's like once we take the courage or the time or whatever it is in our particular, sometimes it's like time, you know, but when we go to that depth, then we discover, well, many things, but we discover the depth, but we also discover that it's not so scary at the same time.
Well, I think that's one of the things about spirituality as I've grown and become more in tune and all these things. Every time new energy has come in, like new energy, let's say, it's always felt familiar.
Hmm.
And so then I'm like, oh, why was I was I resisting this for so long?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
I used to feel this energy in childhood. Like this is like beautiful and amazing. So yeah, it's super interesting why we resist it for so long. Why do we do that to ourselves? Silly. So where's the voice that's laughing at us inside of our minds? Are you ready for Saturday? To drop the Saturday
Drop it.
info? Drop it. Boom. Okay, green rays, which I thought was fucking awesome. Green rays.
Green rays.
So I believe that to be the heart energy.
Mm-hmm.
So without making any bold predictions here, wildness, I believe Saturday, the 7th of May, will be a very big heart energy day. And not just a hard heart energy day, but a very good heart energy day. I believe that there will be big downloads for a lot of people as far as what heart energy is and love itself.
I really would want that. I want that prediction to be true. Let's put it that way.
Same.
I mean,
Wouldn't that be cool? Okay, so this is where okay, I want to do a little moment here where one of the things that I have really definitely learned in this journey of life or whatever is that freaking you can always know more about the same topic. One time I was like, oh yeah, I know how to ground. I can ground. And so I was like, wait a second, maybe I'm being silly. And then I was like, okay, Earth Mother, show me a new way to ground. Show me a deeper understanding of grounding. And what I felt was so beautiful that I was actually working with a client at the time, and I cried. I was moved to tears because it was so amazing.
mm-hmm.
And that's where I was like, it's the act of knowing something is very egoic. It's very, well, I shouldn't say egoic. Ego is beautiful. Altered ego is where we want to not be stepping. Sorry, I'm hearing sounds outside my window. It's like very weird. There should not be sounds outside my window. Yeah, so basically you can always know more about the same thing, and it can be incredibly beautiful and humbling if you allow that for yourself, Oh, my heart's already open. Well, what about opening it more? Like,
Fucker.
that's fucking cool.
Yeah, I think this is where I've noticed myself, especially, but I've noticed other people as well. It's you get to a certain kind of, I don't know, achievement or skill level, be it in spirituality or whatever, and then you get into that place of, yeah, I know this. Don't need to know more. Don't need to learn more. Don't need to grow more. But it's constant growth and constant
Yeah.
evolving. It doesn't,
Stagnation.
but I think it's one of the reasons we do that as humans, and one of the reasons I do it is because there's like this sense of, I've learned this, I've got this, I've gotten to this level. I don't want to put myself beneath anybody,
Ooh.
but it's a lot about it's not actually a lot about putting yourself beneath it. It's just having the humility of listening to somebody, or learning from somebody, or learning from something, doesn't mean that you're controlled or overpowered or manipulated.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, your guides and your angels and everything can work through anybody around you.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking listen up, fam. Well, that's the week wrapped up. We got some pretty, it feels like a good week. Like it feels like it's gonna be really awesome. So depending on where you're at, what you want to do, the choice is yours. It's fucking sweet.
Go for it. Get it, guys. And
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
enjoy your week, and we'll be here next week again, humming along.
Moving along, bringing our cosmicness to the table.
Have a cosmic goodness week, guys, and see you soon.